is a significant number to Audi. 8, it represents the best. Like this Audi A8L that I'm sitting in, it is the pinnacle of luxury when it comes to Audi sedans. The A8, it debuted way back in 1994, and then it was a significant step up on anything Audi had built before. In fact, I found this press release from 1994. It's dated 14th of Feb 1994, and it says, Audi A8 to make its world premiere at the Geneva show. It is a trendsetter in the luxury class, and it takes a quantum leap in body architecture, which is right, because back then the A8 debuted with aluminium construction both in the chassis as well as on the body. It also debuted the A nomenclature, which has since spread to sedans across the Audi range, right from the A3 to the A7, and of course the A8, which remains in a class of its own.
We're celebrating 40 years of Quattro by giving away 12 scale models of the Audi A8 and Audi Q8. Stick around till the end to know how you can win one. The 4th generation A8, like every A8 before it, remains a technological tour de force. On the outside, you get matrix LEDs with laser lights and dynamic turn signals, while at the rear, you get a gorgeous light bar that enhances the A8's stance. The A8 styling itself manages to balance the fine line between bold and understated, and it looks really handsome when rolling down the road. But the A8 is best enjoyed from the inside.
And the best seat on the inside is this one, the rear left passenger seat. I'll show you why. There's this one button which frees up so much room at the back. Check this out. So the entire front seat reclines, the headrest drops down so I have a clear view of the road ahead. The screen adjusts to be a proper view for me. And voila. Extremely comfortable in here. I can literally stretch out. But space is not the only thing that's special about the A8. There's so much else going on. This tablet here, for example, controls all the functions that I need from the back seat. I can go into the seats menu and I can adjust my seat. I can recline it. I can move it forward. It's cooled as well as heated, so I can pick what I'd like. And it has a massage function. I can even pop this tablet out and use it. Other things I can control from here, the lights. This car has matrix LED reading lights, and I can actually adjust the intensity as well as where they fall on my lap to suit what I need. All the blinds, I can control all the blinds inside the car from here. Obviously, I can control the media settings and the sound settings on the Bang & Olufsen sound system. But the most important and most interesting thing I can do here is this. Let me show you. I go into the seats menu and I can actually drop down a footrest. So I can keep my feet up, but that's not all, because this car actually has a foot massager. So I can activate these little knobs from the seat back and they will massage and knead the soles of my feet. It's absolutely wonderful. It's so relaxing. There's absolutely nothing like it. This is the place to be in the Audi A8.
Since I was dressed more appropriately, I stuck to the back seat and let the boss chauffeur me around.
Should you choose to drive, there is plenty of tech in the Audi. Now it's got 48-volt technology that works on the air suspension. You also get a sport mode. So on drive select, you can get the sport mode, which is dynamic, and it does handle pretty well. The A8, it gets Quattro, obviously. All Audis get Quattro tech. And for such a big, large automobile, it does handle pretty well. What is even more impressive, of course, is the comfort. And all Audis have really ridden very well indeed. But this also can handle, so you point it around a corner and there is plenty of grip. There is a lot of bite. Body roll is there. Obviously, this is a luxury automobile, but the wheels, the tires are not even squealing. It is a very good car to drive, honestly. Ever since we started driving Audis, the three things that really stood out were the tech, the grip from the Quattro, and of course the ride comfort. And the A8, it's a shining example of how Audi has moved all three bars one step higher. The cabin, it definitely feels expensive, and as the light goes down with all this mood lighting, it does feel very nice, very premium, very expensive. The grip, there is always grip. Okay, rear wheel drive cars, they do give you that leeway to play around with the throttle, which the A8 does not let you do. But honestly, in a car like this, what do you want? You want to feel pampered. You want to waft in luxury. And the A8, it does that. You really don't find reasons to complain. And even keen drivers can push it. So it offers you the best of everything. This is the V6 engine. All Audis are now petrol. And one thing is there, petrol engines, they're just so silent, just so quiet. When you're gunning it, you can hear the engine growl, which is nice. But then you stick it in comfort and it's just so silent, quiet, isolates the world outside. It's a shame that you don't see too many of these A8s on the road, honestly. Okay, Audi were a little late to bring it to the party, but still this deserves to play. And while the A8 is brilliant, it isn't the only Audi that gets to be called a flagship.
The Audi Q7 has sat at the top of Audi India's SUV range for the longest time, but last year gave us this, the Audi Q8. The Q8, it takes the luxury that we've come to expect from the A8 and mashes it together with this unmistakable SUV coupe styling.
The Q8's design is striking. It gets a massive octagonal grille up front, debuting the new design language of the Q family. It gets sleek matrix LED headlamps and plenty of vents and scoops, making it look rather aggressive. The roofline is raked forward, hinting at its dynamism, while the large wheels give it a handsome stance. Much like the A8, the Q8 gets a light bar, but with its own unique signature. A lot of the Q8, the doors, the fenders, the rear hatch are aluminium to keep weight low.
Inside the Q8, the family cues are very apparent. You get a similar layout for the dashboard, so you get twin screens, a 10.1 inch screen for the infotainment system and 8.6 inch screen for the climate control, and it feels like a part of the 8 family. You get plenty of standard equipment as well, so you get virtual cockpit, you get the Bang & Olufsen sound system, you even get conversational voice commands. But the Q8 gets plenty of optional equipment as well, so you can spec it with 4-zone climate control. You can get a perfume and an air ionizer to increase the quality of the air in the cabin. You can spec it with sports seats as well, but this car is running the standard regular comfort seats. When Audi launched the Q8 in India, a lot of their talk was around customization and personalizing the Q8 to you. And the list of things you can do to the Q8 is endless. There's so much you can do with it. While luxury is a given, so much of the Q8 is about the driving experience. Under the hood, you've got a turbo V6, which puts out 335 horsepower and 500 Nm of torque. Quattro? It's standard. Now, the thing about the Q8 is you can do so much with it. So you can just leave it in comfort mode and you can do regular SUV things with it. But then when you really want to, you just put it into dynamic and it comes into its own. It moves with intent. It handles, the steering tightens up, the air suspension tightens up. It all feels a lot more fun and engaging. The Q8, it may be running on large 21-inch rims, but the ride quality, it's surprisingly good. Audi has really nailed the ride quality on this car. You can chuck it around in bends and it will handle like it's supposed to. But at the same time, when you want it to, it's comfortable. It'll waft. It'll ride easily over the many bumps and undulations on our roads. These SUV coupes, they do a great job of blending together practicality and sportiness. But the Q8 has a cousin, and I hear it's quite the riot.
Meet the RS Q8, V8 power, more outrageous styling, and performance that can really bend your face. The RS Q8 gets a face that is true to the RS family of cars with a blacked out grille and Audi logo. It is wider with flared arches and longer as well. There is a carbon exterior package and gloss black, though this is the matte aluminum package. The lights look deceptively similar, but they get their own RS signature. There are oval tailpipes like every RS model, and the RS Q8 runs on 23-inch wheels. But honestly, how it looks is secondary, because this car, this SUV, is all about performance. Now the V8 engine, it makes 592 bhp. It's a twin turbo V8, not a V6. It makes 800 Newton meters of torque. 0 to 100, 3.8 seconds. Top speed, 250 kilometers per hour. And if you opt for it, you can get it opened up to 305 kilometers per hour. This is ferociously quick. It's astonishingly fast. The handling is unbelievable. This, you got to remember, is an SUV. Now obviously it gets all the tricks that modern technology and modern engineering can throw at a car. So it's got active differentials, it's got rear wheel steer, it's got a very powerful engine, you can option a sport differential. So all of that tech, yeah, but the way it goes, it is mind-bending. What really struck me while we were coming up the hills was that it runs 23-inch wheels. 23 inches, that is massive, next level massive, yet it rides very well. Now these roads, they haven't been taken care of in quite a few months. There are potholes. Even if you miss a pothole and you go through a pothole, it just takes it. It is comfortable. This is something that you can use daily without a problem. And then you drop 2 gears, fire it around bends, and at times there is a smidge of oversteer. With 23-inch wheels, there is a smidge of oversteer. It's fantastic, the performance. It's so quick. Between corners, it goes like a bloody missile. Through the corners, it grips. I actually cannot talk when I'm throwing it around bends. The G-forces, it takes your breath away. You know, the only real downside to this is that you got to be careful of one thing, and that one thing is the fuel gauge, because you can keep driving on and on, but up here in the hills there are no petrol pumps, so we have to go down to tank it up. So I've got to be careful about that fuel gauge, because this SUV is addictive. This is a super SUV.
In the years since the A8's introduction, the numeral 8 took on a new meaning for Audi. It began to symbolize the pinnacle. Be it luxury, performance, technology, speed, involvement, a car with 8 in its name sat right at the top of the ladder. The 4th generation A8 carries that legacy forward. The Q8 is a thoroughly modern interpretation of 8, and the RS Q8 takes that interpretation even further. The definition has been stretched, but the core remains. Such is the power of 8. Now, if you want to win an Audi A8 or Q8 scale model, let us know in the comments what Audi calls its all-wheel drive system. We have a dozen models that we're giving away, and you can stand a chance to win one if you get the answer right.
Subscribe to the Evo India channel and hit the bell icon to keep pace with the thrill of driving.